Hello, everyone. Welcome to Casters and Castles. I am NinjaManMat, and joining me today is my wonderful cast. We're going to go ahead and just go around the area here, starting from what, if I can remember properly, is going to be in mostly alphabetical order. Let's start with Binary, aka Braden. How are you doing today, Braden?
I'm good. Uh, yeah, I'm good. Nervous, nervous as hell,
Don't
but
be
I'm good.
nervous. We're among friends and we're playing D&D. We're going to have a great time. Uh, Also joining me today, we have NWC Tim. Hey Tim, how are you doing?
Doing all right. Glad to get this game started.
Yes, and I see, like myself, you're dressed up today, so that'll be an inspiration for the both of us. Very
Woohoo.
very excited for that. And moving on down the line, Platypus, how you doing today, Plat?
I am pretty good, and I believe I have a challenge from chat. So here, is that what we're going for here, Beep?
Is that good for
I
you?
have
Do
to
you like
Google. I
that?
have to
Is that
Google it.
what
Is
you
that what that
wanted?
is?
Oh, excellent. And then last but not least, we have Raze. Raze, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm glad it's Friday and I'm excited to be playing.
Oh my gosh, me too. I've been looking forward to it all week and stayed up far too late to make sure that I was ready for whatever shenanigans you and the rest of the Coldhardt Convicts end up throwing my way. Speaking of which, as we are making our way into the game, we are going to be playing Curse of Tamreon, which is a community adventure between all of the various different supporters that we have here in the CNC community. This is just my way of expressing my appreciation for all of your support throughout the years. And we're doing just some nice little mini adventures as we, as a community, come together in order to attempt to stop the Curse of Tamrion on the continent that 300 odd some years ago within our current timeline was ripped away by the Titan of Water, smashed into the descending creature from the outer dark known as the One Flesh, buried it, and the peoples and the magical creatures that called the area home have been recovering over the last several hundred years, finding their new way in which they're going to be living in this very strange but also very familiar land. Over the last year, there has been an increasing amount of danger as a dark fog with this eerie purple tint known as the Murky Veil has arisen across all of the continent of Tamrion. It spreads across every corner of the land, only ending, not going into the waters where the power of Liban is strongest. Additionally, any settlement that is surrounded entirely by walls and kept by its people is also protected from this fog. For anyone who goes in within the fog hears maddening whispers that erode at the edge of their sanity. It's also incredibly difficult to see while you're within it. Oh, and did I mention that all of the beasts and plants within are immediately hostile to any humanoids that make their way within? Dark creatures also hide within the fog, capturing mortals, dragging them within, and turning them into horrible and unrecognizable monsters. It's at that point we join ourselves here in the Ironwood city of Coldhardt, in the kingdom of Coldar. We have the Coldhardt Convicts, who just recently were broken out of jail by a monster attempting to abscond with everyone there. The adventurers rallied and only just recently meeting one another came together in order to repel an attack against the city, where the monsters from the Tangwheel Forest breached the walls of the large and populated capital of Koldar, capturing its people, killing its defenders, and your group was able to rescue quite a number of people and destroy several monsters. However, during your interactions with these beasts, you discovered that there was a leader among them, a leader that was able to communicate with you telepathically, giving you dark tidings for a future where it will be ceaselessly coming to take the people that live here and destroying all that attempt to stop it. It's at that point, at the end of the battle, where you were approached by a man, a half elf named Everwolf Roarer, who had informed you that you were called to the Tower of the Sentinel in order to be proposed a quest and deal by the leader of their rank, the captain of the Sentinels, Wynerick Stein. And it's at this point where you'll have to make your first major decision of the campaign outside of just defending your lives. Are you going to follow Everwolf and throw yourself before the, let's not say mercy necessarily, but you are convicts. Your choice is either to go back to jail or to go to the Sentinels. What would you like to do?
Ferric is going to just follow along. He wants to speak to the manager anyways.
Chief also
Very
has
good.
Some,
That's one. How about the rest of you?
Chief also has some grievances he would like to air, so he will follow.
Clack is gonna follow
As
along
would
just
be.
because he never thought he'd go to the Tower of the Sentinel, so he just wants to see it as a tourist, I guess.
Very good.
Jackal will just go with, we'll go along with the rest.
Excellent. Hey, going and checking something out just because it's pretty or because it's better than going back to jail. Those are all, I would say, excellent stratagems as you make your way through this next leg of our journey. Let me go ahead and open up the next area here. Give me just a moment. There we are. And just so everybody has an idea of where we are here, I'm going to go ahead and just share a few handouts that I have, just so everybody has an idea of who our group is and who they're interacting with. The gentleman I should be able to share here, we are.
Okay.
Hopefully everyone can see that.
Mhm.
This is Everwolf Roarer, the individual who... Oh, wait, chat can't see that because I haven't shared it with them on the gameplay screen. Give me just a moment. And there we are. I'm hoping everyone should have an idea of what this gentleman looks like. There we are. Finally, I figured out how to blow things up so that way people can see it. So this is Everwolf Roarer. This is a half-elf individual, a Ironwood Warden. They are effectively one of the scouts, a ranger of sorts, you could say, a survivalist that leads both the traders, citizens, anyone within Coldhardt that wants to travel to other areas or scout out for the kingdom are trained as a warden. He's particularly specialized in going to the Tangle Forest and assisting with the collection of ironwood there, the city's main commodity. Additionally, we have, speaking of Coldhardt, we have the Ironwood City itself. And try and make that one popped out for everyone to see. There we go. There we are.
And I'm assuming we're heading towards the big one.
Yes, there is that very large tower at the upper center. That overlooks everything here within the city, and that is the area that you are indeed making your way to. And would be nice. Here we are. Okay, perfect. As you make your way through the city, and it is at this point, again, the midst of the night, after you had been assisting with defending the city, only mere moments passed before Everwolf approached your group, having reached your party at the end of their encounter with the monsters. And while you were initially attempting to assist the recovering citizens and the guards that had shown up on the scene, conveniently after you had already saved them from the danger, they went ahead and took over the duties of being able to assist with the aftermath, and you were instructed to join Everwolf to the tower. And as you approach, you can see that there is a very large and imposing structure made out of this very pristine-looking white stone. You're not exactly sure what it is, but it seems to, even at night, gleam against the backdrop of the sky. Even higher than the Coldhardt Keep, the tower stands as it looms tall over the city, serving as a reminder to the city's people and a warning to its intruders that the Sentinels are ever watching, ever vigilant as they stand guard over the Ironwood City. And as you approach, a great gate of Ironwood greets you. Etched into the threshold is a depiction of the founding of the Sentinels, warriors of valor who defended the people of Coldhardt during the War of Displacement. And Everwolf is going to allow you to enter with him. The gates are opened, a large creak as the doorway is opened for you. And as you enter within, you can see polished braziers that line the walls of the spiraling stairs that lead up the tower. They shroud the entirety of the tower in a dark orange radiance. On each of the floors, as you make your way up the tower, you see chambers adorned with gems and filled with numerous works of art upon the rounded walls and ceilings. Each room seems to dance with a flickering light which silhouettes the statuettes and marble icons that look down upon you inside this radiant tower. As you ascend to the very top of the Tower of the Sentinel, you enter into the office of the captain of their order. Wynerick Stein stands looming over you. You see as you immediately enter an enormous bearskin rug that runs the length of the room and marks the closest spots where people can stand and wait to be addressed by the captain of the Sentinels. Within, you see ribbon and banners that emblazon ornaments decorating the walls. Between each banner hangs a small chandelier. They've all been lit, and they illuminate the tapestries of heroes and leaders all around you. Flanking Captain Stein is a massive stained glass window with symmetric designs framed by the draperies, which are the same color of blue, purple, and silver as the banners that surround the chamber. These curtains have been adorned with gold leaves and impressive needlework. This is a very, very fine and almost luxurious place that you've seen, considering its inhabitants are supposed to be defenders. They definitely live, it appears to be, an opulent life when they are not out defending the city. And you see that Stein sits within a large silver chair. Before him, there are 6 smaller but very similar ornate seats that surround a massive table. Upon the table is a battle map of Ironwood City, with various documents that have been scattered across its surface.
Ah, yes. You've arrived. Finally. You're the adventurers I've heard so much about. The convicts that were fought and brought before me. Please come, take a seat.
Ferric will move in and sit down in front of the biggest tankard of beer available, if there's one available.
There is no, as far as you can tell, there are no refreshments, no food, nothing here that would give you the idea that this is going to be a pleasant at all visit. You have what seems to be a comfortable place with which to sit, but the arrangement of this room appears to be somewhat chaotic and organized chaos, as it were, as the captain of the Sentinels appears to be reviewing their notes, especially from the recent attack, having been receiving reports even so quickly after the battle had commenced, or rather finalized.
Well, in that case, he'll sit down and pull out a beer from somewhere anyways.
And where is it you're going to be pulling a beer out from, Ferric?
He kind of just reaches behind his cloak and pulls it out of his ass.
Very good. As you do so, Everwolf
you
can't
asked.
help. Everwolf
You
can't
did
help
ask.
but suppress a smirk as he sees you do this, and Stein looks down at you over his large and imposing nose. And while I'm at it, let me go ahead and share a picture of our good Captain Stein for the people to see. He is a large man, a very large man, has a noble demeanor and a gruff appearance to himself. He seems as though he is certainly a hybrid individual, but very rough around the edges. He, in the short time that you've experienced being around him, he definitely doesn't seem like someone you want to get on the bad side of.
As Ferric pulls out his beer, Clack is just kind of look around, almost wide-eyed, at just how much seemingly valuable stuff is just out in the open, laying around in the place that's supposed to house the defenders of the city before moving and taking a seat.
Chief is going to take a step forward and say, you're the one in charge around here?
Yes, that is correct. And
Then
you
you're
are?
the one. I am Achieve, divinely appointed to retrieve holy relics from this land, and you have been the one impeding my quest.
Yes, I heard. Holy relics, you say. Infernal ruins, more like it. You seek the designer cities,
Yes.
and you know what it was that dwelt there, tiefling?
Yes.
And as he says this, again, you've come to notice throughout your travels, it's very few and far between that you find anyone that holds you in bad regard for your heritage. But he seems to punctuate the mention of your ancestry almost as an accusation rather than a statement, especially in regards to speaking about the designer cities.
Yes, that was the very reason that we locked you up in the correctional facility. My lord believes that we can rehabilitate people like you. I'm not so certain.
You seek to veer me off my divine course to steer me away from his correct teaching, from his grand designs?
As Captain Stein appears to be formulating a rebuttal, Everwolf kind of steps up and puts a hand on your shoulder as he approaches the chairs and sits down in one of them. I think that discussions of politics and faith could be saved for lectures of another time. This is a very important matter that we have at hand. Captain, you've summoned the heroes of the day who were able to not only repel the Western Watchpoint, but save many of the people that were there. No other gatehouse was able to retrieve nearly so many captured individuals as these you could call convicts. I believe you were here to offer them some sort of deal.
Yes. It is as Everwolf says. You are very capable, and I shall not speak any further by that which I care not. What I do care of is what use you can be to me and to my city. I seek its defense, and I seek to save those that were captured and taken away from here. You, all of you, would be locked up inside of the Ironheart facility for, well, quite a long time. However, I am prepared to offer you sanctuary. I am prepared to offer you forgiveness. I am prepared to offer you a station here within the Ironwood city of Coldhardt. I swear to thee, by the honor as the soldier of Coldhardt, by the duty instilled in me by the rank as the captain of the Sentinels, and by the power vested in me by King Elof Coldhardt himself, the members of the Coldhardt Convicts shall be exonerated for all prior wrongdoings within the kingdom of Coldar, will be officially recognized as citizens of our fair city, and exalted as heroes of the realm, to be rewarded as befit the nature of their status.
Everwolf chimes in. What my lord is trying to say is, we'll let you off the hook for whatever it is you did when you arrived here. If you can go into those woods, find the creature that leads the band of monsters that returns every week, every night, to come assail and capture our people. If you can do that, you'll be heroes and rewarded as such.
I have no interest in your city or your titles or your station, but if you agree to stop impeding my search, I will agree.
Stein nods and looks to the rest of you.
Ferric strokes his beard thoughtfully and says, I shouldn't even be in the prison in the first place. What happened at the gatehouse was not my fault.
You can see Roarer kind of looking at you like, that's just not going.
If
Stein
you're
raises an eyebrow at you.
the whatever you call your engineers here assured me that ironwood was just as good as metal at all applications. Well, I can assure you that is not the case. When I energize metal, it works just fine. When I tried to energize the ironwood, it practically exploded. It
Wood
had to
is
stick to it.
flammable, Ferric. We have talked about this at length.
I wasn't
Still
applying
wood.
fire to it. Nothing would have happened if your workers had come back after their dinner break.
Ferric,
But in
we will not continue this discussion. This is exactly why I sent you to that facility in the first place. You have been there not once, not twice, but 3 times now. And I am down not 1, not 2, but 3 guard towers now. I tire of these discussions, but I cannot ignore you are effective when applied correctly, and I intend to apply your efforts to this task, should you choose to accept it.
well, it was a nice offer, and if you're gonna force my hand, well, I might as well go with that.
He snorts and looks then to Jackal.
These people you say you care so much about, do you know their names, the ones that have gone missing? If you care so much about them, while you sit in your big tower, it looks like there's ample room for a lot of people here, and the ones I'm guessing by the gates, those are the ones who have gone missing. Seems strange that you sit in such a large tower.
Jack, when you say this, you can not just see, but feel the heat of his gaze piercing into you. You can tell this is a very prideful man, and you can tell that your words have wounded him. He wears his emotions like he wears the medals upon his jacket.
Storyteller, newly arrived only today to the Ironwood City. You ask if I, the captain of the Sentinels, care for the dozens and dozens of people that are taken from my city nightly. You ask if I know each of their names, as if we were friends, making our way through a story in a bar, sharing a drink. No, storyteller, I know not the names of each of the people that is wronged and hurt within my fair city. However, I know the number. 56 were taken last night, this night. 78 a week before that. And so far, in this month alone, 127 people have been taken. None to be recovered. The monstrous forms that we call dregs swell, joining the numbers of the monsters that attack us. No, storyteller, I do not know their names. But I fear their loss. It wounds me, and yes, this opulent tower you see before you, should the monsters knock upon our door and break down our walls and force us here, I will welcome every soul who I can fit into this tower during our last stand. But until then, I defend the walls. And Everwolf.
You can see at that, Roarer looks up, smiling.
Everwolf pushes on into the night, recovering those who have been taken and destroying those who would seek to undo the civilization we have made here. So I ask you again, storyteller, will you help us in recovering the 127 people that have been taken?
I will go for them, but not for you.
He nods.
Seems odd that you would rehabilitate someone. I feel like that's a kind word for what you do. I knew people back in Gold Air who started off doing something very similar. Then a lot of people ended up being rehabilitated, as you say.
It is a kind word, or a kindness that I show people who likely do not deserve it. But as Everwolf said, I am not here to discuss politics and faith. What I am here for is results, and I thank you for attempting, in your small way, storyteller, to assist us.
And then finally, his gaze falls upon you, Clack.
Clack just sits for a second and then says, "Tonight, I was attacked, almost killed. If it weren't for these compatriots in the prison, I would not be here. This city means a lot to me. I will help it, but I have one question. Food or fodder? That is what the beast says. And that is a question everyone will answer eventually, I'm sure.
It spoke to you, the monster.
It spoke to all of us. Not with words from its mouth, for its maw only consumes, but with its mind.
You can
And
see
that-
that when you say that, he leans forward, taking a quill, dipping it in ink, and begins scrawling notes as you are depicting this.
And it said, well, asked rather, food or fodder? And for a second, I thought my choice had been made. And now I want to ask it the question, food or fodder?
You seek revenge.
Yes. Yes, I do.
And you shall have it. Go. All of you. Han Victor no. Join Everwolf. Enter the Tankwheel Forest. Slay the beast. Bring back its head, the very maw of which you speak. And you shall be rewarded handsomely. Also, bring back as many people as you can. I understand that it would be extremely difficult to guide that many back with so few of you. But I will send you with a gift of supplies. It should be enough to allow you to guide them back, should you recover any during this adventure.
Roarer claps his hands. Well, that was lovely. I think we have exactly what we need. Don't worry, boss. I will guide the convicts where they need to be, and upon our return, you shall call them the dreadful names of which you speak no more. To be sure, they will be known as heroes among this and all realms for dispatching. And as he goes on, he gets cut off by Stein.
Yes, very good. Everwolf, I have much to do. Take your rabble and leave. Go with my blessing. Oh, and also this. And
he looks at you, Clack.
Your mother and father wanted you to have this. Here.
And he throws a bag at you. You can hear that there are many, many, many coins within inside. Additionally, the party is going to be getting their reward that last time we were here, Chat had given you some money, but you were in jail, so I wasn't able to share it amongst you. But now I have the time, so I'm going to go ahead and roll to see how much coinage you were able to receive. We rolled a 48, and on the table that we're pulling from, that is going to be a tidy sum. Wow. He is going to move over to the wall, and he's going to pluck one of the very expensive-looking tabards off the wall. He rolls it up, and he approaches you, Jack, handing you the tabard. This will fetch a tidy profit in town. If you need to resupply, take that, find a vendor who would appreciate a gift from the Tower of the Sentinel. That should get you quite a few supplies. Oh, I didn't turn on his voice. One moment.
That should get you quite a few supplies.
And that tabard is going to be worth 250 gold. So you can either hold on to a tabard of the Sentinels, or you can change it for gold in town while you resupply. And with that, it seems as though Stein is done with you. He returns to his notes and does not address you for the remainder of your stay within the chamber. If there's anything like you would like to do before you leave, go ahead and let me know. If not, after a little bit of time, Everwolf is then going to escort you out from the chamber and also out of the tower.
Lead on.
Does this count as a long rest, or a long rest, or anything like that, or no?
That is up to you. Your group can decide if you'd like. You can stay here for the night. However, the trail is going to get far more difficult to find if you spend the full night resting. If you want, you can take a short rest, of which the trail will be more difficult, but not so bad as resting a whole night. Or, and what Everwolf is insisting you do, he would like to lead you out of the city right now. He's already picked out one of two paths that your group can decide to take. He's going to leave it up to you, but he'll lead you regardless.
Time is of the essence, and it is limited, so we must make haste.
Yes, but we should stop for supplies. Death is not exactly my favorite outcome.
Yes, we need supplies, rations. We'll do no good if we don't make it there ourselves.
As we're walking down, Jacko would like to ask Everwolf if he's seen any of the people that were, like, since he's the one who's been going out, has he like come in contact at all with any people that have been taken?
You're asking if he's been able to recover anyone when he's gone out?
Yeah, if he's been able to find anybody ever, or if he's not, like.
And when you ask him this, you had just left the tower, and he is leading you and your group to one of the nearby marketplaces in order to gather some of the supplies that you may need. When you ask him this, he sighs. Putting a hand on your shoulder, as you walk, he kind of leads you and leans in a little bit close, not quite whispering into your ear when he says, "My friend, I have gone out into the dark, out into the fog, for the last year that it has been here, and I can count on my hands and toes the number of people that I've been able to rescue. Now, I'm not missing any of my phalanges, but I can assure you it's far less than I wish that I had. However, I hope that with your help, I won't be able to count the number of people that I'll have saved."
Did you ever did they ever tell anything? Did you gain any like clues from the people that you recovered? Because I'm thinking the food or fodder. That's what I kept saying. Food makes sense, but fodder, that's what I'm wondering.
The individuals that are taken, those that I've been able to recover, they always arrive in force. A large band, a horde of monsters, and their foot soldiers, the dregs, those that we are fairly confident are the people who were taken, those that are absconded with by the monsters of the fog. Something happens to them. We believe they're not killed or eaten. We believe that they are transformed. They are changed. The very monsters that attack us, not the ones that we had just seen, the hulking beast of teeth and claw, those, I don't know what they are. but their servants, the dregs, they swell in number. They've only been increasing as time has gone on. I believe that those that we have not been able to recover are transformed into these poor, malignant individuals that serve these monsters. Whenever I've recovered somebody, dear Jack, it has been a day or less into the Tangle Forest, for the Horde always makes their way into the lands of the Resolved. We've tried to broker some kind of interactions with the creatures that live there, but they, even though they helped us in years past overcome the war of displacement, they secured themselves within the dark wood of Tangwheel, and the only time we ever saw them was when we would go in to recover the ironwood of their lands. And if we took more than what was allotted to us by the treaties long since passed, they would return, and much like these monsters, they would scale our walls, and they would kill, and they would take their revenge. So we stay within what is allotted to us. We take only what we need, and I can assure you it's been very difficult in the recent year. So we do not receive any help from our ancient allies. But unlike the other embittered spirits that are making their way into our lands, at least the beings within the Tangle Forest keep to their own. I'm sorry, I was kind of rambling there, certainly. Does that answer your question, dear Jack?
Yeah. It's making foot soldiers is what you.
That's what it appears to be, yes.
Okay.
Ferric will speak up and say, perhaps we should ask somebody who's been there. And he starts calling out, Hootie, where are you? And he's not responding.
Ooh! Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I thought you called him. My apologies.
Well, okay, so Hootie doesn't respond right away. Says, well, I'll do what I do when the blowfish doesn't quite work. I'll turn him off and I'll turn him back on again. And so I'm going to use the spell feature to dismiss him and then resummon him in place. Pulling him out of wherever he was kidnapped to last night. At which point he can relay what he saw, and Ferric will actually somehow understand this time. Because it's what he's expecting, because it's what he wants to hear.
Ooh! And when your owl returns from wherever it was, it informs you as to what it saw while it was there, and it whoos a lot.
Yeah. Which I assume was pretty much just confirmation of everything that was speculated about.
Can you speak owl?
I mean, technically I can communicate telepathically with it.
Oh, can you? Okay.
That would genuinely not surprise me if Ferric spoke owl, though.
Nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me with Ferric at this
It's
point.
like technically I can speak telepathically with it. It's just he's not always listening.
Okay, so what Hootie is able to inform you with the bond that you've made over your time together is that they did not actually go very far. It appears as though the entity opened up a rift, and one moment it was in town, the next it was just outside the walls. The creature that had absconded with them, they didn't see, but the roper that held it and the other individual slowly but surely made their way into the fog, and until you've called it, it's just been in the grasp of that stalactite being ever since, making their way slowly but surely within the forest.
And does it have an idea of the approximate direction?
Why don't you make a survival check for Hootie?
Oh, for Hootie. That's what, intelligence?
And actually, before you do that, can you go ahead and have Hootie make a wisdom save, please?
You got this, Hootie. I believe in you.
Oops, I don't know why it's rolling.
Here, let me see. I gotta make sure that Hoodie's not rolling with advantage or disadvantage. Let me just pull this up real quick. And here we go. Okay, as always, we're gonna do query advantage. We're gonna query whisper, and we're gonna auto roll. You should never be attacked with this thing, but anyway. Okay, from now on, it should be working just fine. But we're gonna go ahead and take the first roll when we roll with advantage. So that's a 5. So unfortunately, Hootie had, when they entered into the Murky Vale, they heard something creeping into the edge. They tell you that there was some sort of, not just the monsters that were what it could see, but it felt beings all around it, eldritch forms that were closing in, and it couldn't really see, it couldn't really think. It was very difficult for it to even consider what was happening. And one more thing, Eric, I'd like you, considering how poorly, unfortunately, Foodie's experience was, I'm going to need you to roll one more thing for me. A 1d100, please.
That's never good.
Maybe it's okay.
And what did you get?
Looks like a 23.
A 23. Hootie informs you that for... Let me just go ahead and I'm going to roll a 1d10 to see how long that lasts. So, not the entire length of time, only about 3 or so minutes. It's hard for Hootie to be able to recall, but when they entered the fog, the eldritch whispers and the things that it was seeing at the edge of its vision were so traumatizing that it actually passed out and was incapacitated for a number of minutes before finally coming to. When it had no idea where it was within the wood, and eventually, it doesn't know how much time had passed, but eventually you called it back, and it was very... Happy is not the right word. It was relieved to be out of that place and to be here with you again. And it is very glad to never have to go back there ever again, right, boss?
Absolutely not.
Whoo! Whoo!
Well, we're going back there, so deal with it.
Hootie deals with it the best way they know how. They fly straight up out of your vision, and while you know they are nearby, they do not want to see you for quite a long time. As Hootie goes off into the night and sulks, just staying just nearby enough in case you need them, but giving you the idea that it is not pleased with what is happening.
Goes have a therapy session with Click.
Understandable.
Talk it out.
And I'm going to go ahead and just real quickly share just a little bit of what it often looks like while creatures are within the murky veil.
Oh, fuck
Everything
that.
gets distorted and looks odd, and you feel this sense of anxiety and trepidation as you see things that aren't there. One minute you'll blink and you'll see some sort of aberration approaching you, almost as if it's running at you. You hear footsteps and something's whispering into the back of your neck, and then the next moment, it's gone. That is the horror that you find yourself approaching. And I just want to go ahead and take this time to remind everyone that our good friend Echofoot within our Castles and Castles Discord, please go ahead and join us if you haven't already. They have so far worked on and completed all of the artwork that you've seen that's been sketched up and customized for our community game of adventures. So give them a little yay, thank you. Also, I want to take this time
looks
to
so cool.
pass out some fun stuff. It looks as though we, first of all, Platt, if you haven't already added it, you've got a disadvantage because, you know, it's punishing time. So if you can go ahead and add that onto your character sheet. I, myself, was able to get an inspiration, to be sure. That is lovely. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my notes. We also got an inspiration for whoever did the thing that Platt did on camera. So, Platt, if you haven't already, go ahead and add one more inspiration to your character sheet. And it looks as though we are getting a second inspiration for Platt as well. So there we are. And then finally, we got one more piece of treasure. As you are making your way into the marketplace, one of the individuals who you had ripped away from the horrors, the hook horrors that were attempting to drag them off into the fog, they approach you and, looking haggard, worn out, and all just, they look awful. They look awful. However, they do have within their midst a bag. You're not exactly certain if this is just a small token of their appreciation, their entire life savings. You can't be sure, but They do thrust the bag into your hands with their thanks, and you and your group are able to receive. Let me go ahead and roll this. Get that out of the way. 12 pieces of gold, as they hand you the small sack with the 12 pieces of gold with their thanks, and they head off back into the night, likely to return to their home. But they appear to be relieved that they found you and were able to give you this thanks for your service. Alrighty then. I did want to clarify, Clack, did you take a chance to look through the bag that was given to you?
I have not, no.
Do you think you will at any point within the next few moments before
I
heading to
was
the
planning
marketplace?
at the nearest possible opportunity, but I didn't want to interrupt anything.
No, this is actually the perfect opportunity. As you and your compatriots are making your way to the marketplace, as you draw ever closer, you just feel the weight of that bag and the coins jingling within, and you can't help but just take a quick peek inside. Within the bag, you see what appears to be about 50 gold pieces scattered within, and you see 2 notes, one from your mother and father, saying that you are a good son, and though you've picked up the best from them, you've also picked up the worst from them, and they only hope that this crazy adventure that you found yourself upon, that you'll be able to use this to prepare for it, as they are having to take the rest of what they've made recently to work out the legal trouble that you've gotten them into by taking the artifact that was within the keeping of your client. There's also another note that you see in very, very fine handwriting you don't recognize. It says, "Should you fail to return,
Should you fail to return, you will never know peace or solace within the continent of Tamreon, as your names and descriptions will be shared far and wide as the deserters of House Coldhardt, and your bounty shall be beyond compare. So no mercenary or sellsword could resist risking life and limb to return you to our justice."
Signed, Captain Wynerick Stein."
Yeah.
What a nice
What a
fellow.
Pass that note around and just show everyone. It's like, and just kind of laugh as I do. Just, oh, he thinks he could catch us. That's adorable.
And as you finally arrive in the marketplace, you can see that even at this late hour, likely especially because of the attack, there are a cavalcade of people and carts and shops, businesses that normally would be closed at this hour. Their doors are thrown open, and they are welcoming people within in order to tend to their wounds, to offer them aid in food, in recoverable medicines, anything that is necessary to get additional clothing, to repair buildings that were damaged. The people, though the people of Coldhardt are well taken care of, they live very long lives, and they are protected almost better than anyone you would probably ascertain within the northern region of Strigar. The people do suffer, at least in a certain aspect. The leadership, the king, Elof Coldhardt himself, is a powerful individual. They are righteous, but they are stern. And they prefer to build up their military. They prefer to expand upon the roads and the communities to the detriment of people's livelihood and education. You know that for the most part, the people of Coldar are regarded as being not simpletons, but they don't have the educational aspirations that many other people are afforded within other regions. And while they are very hardworking and good people on the whole, they, aside from the basic trades that are needed in order to keep these communities afloat, you have to get a very specialized position, usually among the nobility or within the military, in order to work your way into any meaningful, high-paying job. But the people come together and they help one another, and they live, for the most part, happy lives. And it is these hardworking, happy people that are coming together during this dire time to assist one another and are opening up their shops to you as well. Everwolf, as you are preparing to enter into this tumultuous marketplace, trying to figure out exactly what you'll need and where you can find it, he says, well, as you can see, I've been tasked in order to make sure that I can guide you where you need to go. Now, normally I travel light, but we've been given the task of being able to bring supplies with us in order to recover. I'm going to go ahead and work on getting what we need in order to make our way into the Tangle Forest, and should we be successful in recovering these people, I should have what we need in order to get them back, and I plan to do so without causing any issue with our stealth or ability to track these monsters. But I want you to think on this during the course of your resupply. We are not going to be able to catch these monsters unless we leave soon, and unless we move quickly. They are not, to be sure, they are not impeded by the fog and the veil and the mist. It is their home, and it will be very difficult for us to make our way through. I have plotted out 2 paths, the first of which we leave as soon as you're ready, make our way through the plains and into the woods. We will chase them down, pushing past exhaustion in order to make sure that we can catch them, dealing with whatever comes our way. We will be subject to all that lies within the fog, including the horrible, maddening whispers. We will have no solace of it. As soon as we leave the thresholds of this city, that's going to be it. The other path, we can make our way through the kingdom, at least briefly. I can plot a path following the roads, taking safe ways that we've been able to safeguard, and go from settlement to settlement. It will take us longer, about 2 days, to reach the woods instead of 1. But we will not have to suffer sleeping through this fog, at least until we reach the city, where we no longer have any sort of settlement to protect us. So you have the quick and dirty path, and you have the slow and ponderous path. One of them will likely get us where we need to go, but it puts us in grave danger far sooner. The other is safer, but we may lose our trail. Now, I'm confident, regardless of what happens, I'll be able to find them. In fact, I think I know where they're going. Deep within the Tangle Forest, there is a mountain there. Whenever I've tracked these creatures, it always appears, no matter where they come from, no matter who they attack, they always appear to head to the dead center of the wood. So even if we are not able to track them down and we lose their scent and their trail, we should be able... Sorry, I'm so sorry, baby. I know you've lost your mother, but it's okay. We'll get her back, I promise. We should be able to at least find them there. I'm not certain if the people will be kept there. I'm not certain if we'll find more monsters there. But I do know that that is likely where they are headed. Now, think no more of this for now. Resupply yourselves, do what you need to do to get ready. Meet me here. I'll be ready in about 10 minutes' time by this fountain. And thank you, adventurers. Know this, regardless of what happens, you're heroes to me, to be sure. And with that, Everwolf winks at you and makes his way off into the marketplace to recover the supplies that will be needed.
Okay. I'm assuming Clack has the tapestry thing, right?
I think
I assumed it was Clack, but I could be wrong.
Sure, I'll have it.
I just assumed it was Clack because people might have seen you maybe possibly before.
I would probably know the best where to go to get the best bargains and deals.
you know where the fence is.
Exactly. I know where
Although the fence
is.
wouldn't necessarily give you a good deal, but you know all the merchants.
Yeah. So that's probably the first thing we would do is, well, first we should probably figure out what supplies we need, and then if we actually need to fence the tapestry, I can do that. But fencing on short notice is a fantastic way to get scammed.
Well, we don't need to fence it because it was given, but yeah.
That's true, but it also takes a very specific type of person to want something like this. And again, we're moving fast.
So do you know what you and your group are going to be going for? You've ascertained, at least you have been here before, Clag. You've grown up here. And Ferric, you've spent a fair bit of time as you've been here working on the watchtowers. Are you going to be looking to gather just basic supplies like rations or repairs that you need to make to your clothing? Or will you be looking for moderate healing salves, potions, and the like?
Probably, healing potions and salves, and then with whatever remainder, probably stuff to make beer with.
Beer, you
Clack
say?
would, Clack would know exactly where to go to get beer. But yeah, first
Yeah.
stop would probably be the apothecary to get some healing and or medicinal items, and then from there, getting rations, bedroll, anything to help with the fog, and then head out.
Yeah.
Is-
Actually, speaking of the fog, do we as characters like know the whole deal with the fog? Like as Jackal, does Jackal know the whole deal with the fog, like or not? Because like I know stuff. I know stuff like me, the like human, but like I
Like
don't
Brayden
I
knows,
don't know. Yeah. But like I don't know if like we as characters know.
So your meta and game knowledge should be pretty aligned. I
Okay.
can assure you that you would have been told while heading to Tamreon what you were going to be experiencing there. The sailors and adventurers that come here, for the most part, they've heard tale. But considering you are a bard of eloquence and are very good at interacting with people, it is my assumption that you would be able to gather quite a bit more information than the average person. So you, much like those
Okay.
that either were born here or found their way here and have been adventuring here for some time, you would certainly know the truths about Tamrion, which let me go ahead and just take a moment to just kind of remind our all of us that are here. Over the last year, a dark fog has shrouded the land. Within the fog, eldritch whispers can be heard, and if you linger too long, those very whispers can drive you mad. The beasts and plants within the fog are hostile to all humanoids who enter. So even the very sparrows and deer and wolves and bears, from the smallest to the largest creatures, will attempt to attack you if they feel that they are uh, properly engaged. Creatures that are more predatory are more likely to ambush you and attack you on sight, whereas smaller creatures will likely run from you but be keeping an eye on you, and if they feel backed into a corner, then they will seek to hurt you as well. There are also plants within the forest and the various wilds of Tamrion that can be deadly, and if you draw too close, they may release whatever defenses they normally have to protect themselves at you in order to strike back at the humanoids that are invading their lands. Additionally, other than just making your way through the fog, sleeping within the fog has a drastically increased chance of driving you permanently insane. And within the fog, there are aberrations and monstrosities known as legions that capture people from settlements at night and turn them into foul creatures known as dreads. That is what you know coming to Tamrion.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
So I heard beer. Is that what we're stocking up on first?
I think it was I believe Ray said heal potions was the
yeah,
first
probably
healing
heal
potions.
then
Yeah,
beer.
healing potions first, and then beer with what's left over.
Yeah.
Heal the body, then the soul.
Yes.
Also, Clack, because of your dealings here and your background within the city, you know that there is also a rare drug amongst this part of the kingdom known as the Cardinal Sin. It is a clear red liquid that shines blue when held up to the moonlight. Creatures that take the drug gain advantage on all ability checks for 1 hour. However, once the drug wears off, you suffer 1 level of exhaustion as your body is moving at a superhuman and increased rate during the time of the drug's effects.
Exhaustion again is like disadvantage. It's like the opposite of what it gives you essentially, right? It's like disadvantage on ability checks.
I'm
I
happy you
believe.
asked, Braden. Let me go ahead and share with you what disadvantage does, or rather, what
Exhaustion.
exhaustion does. It comes in 6 varieties,
Bad.
6 levels. When you get your first
Oh,
level of
boy.
exhaustion, you gain disadvantage on all ability checks.
Bad.
When you
Okay.
gain another level of exhaustion, by the way, these effects are cumulative. So as you gain 1 level, unless you are able to heal a level of exhaustion, until you were able to heal your exhaustion, which you are able to, if you spend, wow, 1 second. Water is not air.
Correct.
When you take a level of exhaustion, it is going to stick with you until you were able to spend a long rest to
Okay.
shrug off the effects. When you take a long rest, you only heal 1 level of exhaustion per night's
Oh.
rest. So it starts off at disadvantage on ability checks. Then your speed is halved. Then you have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. By the 4th level, your hit point maximum is halved until you are able to, you can't get any more than half your total hit points until your exhaustion is recovered. By the 5th level, your speed is reduced to 0. And by the 6th level, you die. No save,
Okay.
no nothing. You're just dead. You collapse from exhaustion.
Okay. So not great. is what I'm hearing. Okay.
Yeah, it
No,
is very
not-
high risk, high reward.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, Clack, can you make an intelligence check for me as part of recalling this
Intelligence.
information?
I can do that thing.
A 15. You also are aware that the drug is made and produced in a town not, well, actually, it's pretty far from here. At the southern, actually, it's about as far as it can get.
Yeah.
On the other side of the kingdom, in a small town known as Halloween, that is where the drug is manufactured. It comes from a faction that produces the drug, and you are aware that if you are able to join said faction, the drug is far more potent than it normally is. You still suffer the side effects, but it lasts for quite a lot longer.
Interesting.
The faction of rogues that produce this drug is known as the Cardinal Syndicate, and they
That's really cool.
are able to accept just about anybody who seeks to do good. You know that this group was once a faction of ne'er-do-wells, led by a rather tall and imposing owlet, who was known for having a quick temper and quicker retribution to those who wronged them. Originally, they were an up-and-coming guild of mercenaries, sellswords, and rogues, and when the fog first arrived, they did everything in their power to benefit from it, wringing the people dry and doing everything they could to benefit from what was happening. However, once they realized this was not a very small localized occurrence, but was happening all across the continent, they changed their ways almost overnight, the entire organization becoming guardians of Halloween and the nearby settlements. Much like the wardens of the Ironwood, this faction started opening up trading paths, using the wealth they've accumulated by wronging people, and becoming protectors of the town of Halloween and the nearby settlements on the southern edge of the Kingdom of Coldhardt. They are now known as what we would consider like Robin Hood-like figures. They are these mythical rogues turned champions that the people seem to appreciate more than their own lords and ladies.
So Clack would probably try to reach out to them, or whoever, if he knows anyone in the city, he'd be like, okay, I might have gotten myself in a little over my head. Let's see if I can get any assistance while trying to wrangle up other supplies to get out there and get people back from the fog.
Yeah, certainly. You can go ahead and try and track someone down, just because I want to make sure that we don't spend too much time just trying to track down a drug. Why don't you go ahead and just roll a, let's say, you can either pick a persuasion or a survival check in order to, in this marketplace or any of the nearby alleys, try and see if you can find a contact.
Persuasion is much better for me.
Alrighty, a
jeez.
14. It's not too bad. It's going to take you the better part. You were given 10 minutes by Everwolf. He told you he would be finished at that point. And over the next 5 minutes or so, you are able to turn up someone who, while they are not themselves a member of the Cardinal Syndicate, they're one of their contacts. Hey, Clack, how's it going? So, you looking to get a hit? Got a job coming up you need to be on your best for? You can see they kind of rub their eye as they talk to you.
Yeah, I'll say to them, or Clack will say to them, yeah, so you know that attack that happened this night?
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah, I got stuck in the slammer, and now I'm part of this little group called the Coldhardt Convicts, and they're sending us out
That's
after
you
them.
guys? Oh my
Yeah, that was
God.
us.
You're pretty well known around these parts, even just after this evening's, well, even after what happened. You, hey, nice job. You know what? Thank you for what you did. This one's on me. And he goes ahead and gives you, 1 dose of the Cardinal Sin.
Clack will like hold it up almost like a toast and go, "You're literally a lifesaver."
No, you're literally a lifesaver. Was there anything else you needed?
Uh,
I got some more if you got some cash.
I do. I'll pull out the tapestry. And I'm like, I do need to get rid of this for some money.
Shit. Is that what I think
Yeah.
it is?
It most certainly is straight from the tower.
You went to the... Oh, my God. That's amazing. Oh, my God.
No,
Clack, you're moving
met the
away from the
captain
world.
too.
And you just had to get busted? You got busted and you got all this? Shit, I need to get busted more often. That's great. Okay, here, give me that shit.
And I'll
And,
pass it over to him.
Yeah, they go ahead and they take the tabard from you. Okay, so here's what we can do. I can either get you some money for it, or if you'd like, I can just do an exchange with the you know what. Give you a little bit better of a deal.
We do need some other supplies. So how about one or
Okay,
two more
okay.
doses, and then the rest is money.
All right. I guess we can work with that. Why don't you go ahead and roll a persuasion check as part of your negotiation?
Actually, he would probably negotiate for 1 dose for each person in the party.
Ooh.
That way, everyone would have one if they need it.
Okay, are you cool with moving forward with a 17 on this?
17 is pretty good.
17's
Trying
pretty
to
good.
look at our
17's
advantages.
pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the 17 slide.
Okay. I mean, look, here's the thing. I could get your entire group for this. Easy. I could go ahead and get you. So see, normally something like this, if I was to give you the cash, I could probably drop 2 big ones. Maybe a little more. Right now things are pretty crazy, so I could probably get a little more. And it's 50 gold a hit. So that'd just about do you. But since you are heroes and all, how about this? And he goes ahead and looks through his pack, takes out 2 pouches of gold, puts them in your hands, and he goes ahead and just slides into your palm 3 more hits. So you have a total of 4 doses. That's 1 right there, 50 each. I can go ahead and get you a total of 4 doses and 100 G. Does that sound good?
That works perfectly.
All right, great. Hey, you know the deal. You're never here. I'll see you later.
Yeah, see you on the other side.
I'm gonna get my ass busted. Kind of just slinks off into the night.
All right. With that, I'll return to the party and I'll hand out 1 dose each, and I'll hold up the bags and say, "Let's go get more supplies."
What is this? Holding up the vial. the dose?
Yes, it's the Clack would know what the drug is, but I don't remember the name right offhand. So
Cardinal Sin, I believe is the name.
yeah, and Clack would explain that it gives you advantage on your roll, or well, it makes you move really fast, but should you take it, you'll inflict 1 level of exhaustion, so you'll feel really slow.
Could be quite useful.
Mm-hmm. I would recommend we hold on to it, though. Let's not use it unless we absolutely have to. That being said, it should get us out of a pinch if we need it. And also keep us going for a lot longer should we need it too. And then with that, let's get some rations and some beer.
Healing potions and such, and
true,
some beer. But yeah.
So aside from
Same-
whatever
same
you
thing.
had on you when you made your way into the start of our session, you were able to get 50 gold, Clack, when you had received money from your parents. And you got 100 gold just now, of which you can pass to the rest of your party.
Yeah.
You also, as a group, received 14 gold from the individual that was thanking you for your assistance earlier that evening. So with that, in addition to what you have, that is what you have to work with for now.
Yeah. And Clack would distribute the gold for the banner too when he passed out the drugs. So
Excellent. Are you just splitting it down the middle with everyone? Even shares?
yep, splitting it evening. So it should be another 25 for everyone.
Excellent.
That brings my total goal to 25. And 0.
And I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything here. I have been informed by looking at my stream loots activity that we had a healing boost that was played a little bit ago. So I want to make sure that we don't forget about that. Let me see if I can find where that
It was
happened.
it was for Clack.
2d4 plus 2.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Did you already roll that?
I have not.
Okay, so you can either choose to heal yourself up by going ahead and doing that. Let me just go ahead and take you real quick. Somewhere where you can kind of see how y'all are doing. Let me go ahead and just move you to, let's just say, I'll take you back to the city walls for now. And as we can see, Clack, you are a bit worse for the wear. Everyone's doing, for the most part, the rest of you are pretty okay. Ferric is down just a bit, but Clack, you are pretty hurt. So if a lot of you are not planning on resting, at least taking a short rest in order to just heal up some of your wounds, you'll need to definitely get your hands on some potions and just pop those. Otherwise, you're going to be walking around in dire straits. So unless you wanted to take a short rest, did you want
I'm
to
going
go
to
ahead and
roll
pop that healing?
boost.
Okay, go ahead and roll 2d4. And
Yeah,
add...
if I can roll 20 is being a little slow.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Oh, there it is. I can see the stream load. Aha, perfect. For some reason, my depth of field with my brain does not go so good, so I don't see them too well. Okay, there we go. And there we go. There's Mama Shimada's 3d6 gold. So let me go ahead and just roll that real quick. And okay, and then while you're
healing is
there,
still rolling.
nice. So you heal.
Oh, that was
10 hit
terrible
points.
roll.
What? No, those were great. Oh, yeah, for your gold, yeah, that was awful. Your hit
Yeah,
points were very
gold
good,
was
though.
awful.
That was a very good bit of hit points. So go ahead and add 10, so you'll have a total of 24 hit points now. And over the course of while you're making your way through the marketplace, your group, each one of you gets a gold as people realizing who you are during your interactions give you a little deal here, a little discount there, and you go ahead and add an extra gold to each one of your character sheets.
Cool.
Yes, there is one member of the group that is pretty down. Clack is still bloodied from their previous encounter, and Ferret could use a top off, but everyone else is doing pretty good at this point. And I'm just going to kind of go one by one with you
Yeah,
now. Let's
so
go ahead and start. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I take a short rest to regain some more HP. So
Short
Well,
rest? Okay,
I'll
now
wait for
remember,
my
if you
turn.
take a short rest, that is going to set you back an hour and make it more difficult to track the monsters that you're going after. So just be aware of that. Ooh, we got another
Never
healing
mind, I'll
boost.
just
Oh
let
my
Ferret go
goodness, that is.
first.
Ooh, okay, that is quite a boost. Ooh, and I
You
got
need to
another
rest when you
inspiration.
have chat.
What's that?
We'll take a long rest. We'll also miss our meetup.
Yeah, yeah.
You're taking a long rest?
If we take a rest, we'll miss our meetup with Roarer.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, so we can't
I
take
think
a
we
rest.
want,
so
we're gonna have to
Yeah.
move.
yeah,
Who needs a short rest when you have chat?
8d4 plus
Exactly.
8.
that's
8d4.
What?
Yeah, go ahead and give that a roll.
so it's 8.
Hey,
That's a
Chad,
really-
feeling generous. I'm missing some spell slots.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
Was
And then just to remind chat this evening, as well as using the stream loot cards that you already have in your possession, if you do any subscriptions or purchase anything on Coffee to get us additional acts of God, those are always proccing as well. Likewise, you can use your sand to purchase draws from our Taroka deck. You can either draw from the common deck, which will give our heroes, anybody who is drawing from the Taroka deck, unless they roll a natural 20, they'll draw automatically. But if you are gifting them one, only one person can have a Taroka card at a time, but they can then choose to go ahead and use that on an attack roll of theirs when appropriate. You can also draw from the high deck. Now, I would ask that you please be kind. I'm not going to allow more than a few draws at a time for the high deck, because that is almost always going to be a very dire bane for the party, as the forces of darkness attempt to impede our heroes by, well, basically cursing them. So if you either want to give our heroes a little boost or give them a little curse, that is always appreciated. Likewise, you can also purchase a short rest for your party if you'd like. Instead of having to spend the time to take a short rest, they can benefit from the effects of it without actually, pausing their adventure, as it were. So that's always usable as well. And let's take a look at.
Yeah.
Oh, we have another healing boost. So
Yeah,
let's
we
go
got a
ahead.
billion. We just got a billion buffs.
Yeah, I'm
We
seeing
got-
that. I'm seeing that. Thank
Chat
you
is
very
great.
much, Chad, for helping out with healing our adventurers. So, let's see here. We dropped that big healing boost, which I'm assuming we were able to use to heal up our party, right? Did you guys already
A
roll for the 2 large healing
whole
boosts?
third. Clock got a 30.
Yep, so I'm
Perfect.
200
Yeah.
max now. So I am ready to go. Let's go track some people down.
Okay,
Nice.
so just to make sure that I'm keeping up on this, I can see that I already got my inspiration from Tom. Thank you very much, Tom. And we got a
There's
large
2
heal from
mystic
Mama Shimada.
surges.
And we got another healing boost from Tom. Did you get the healing boost from Tom?
The 8d4 plus 8, I did.
That was from Mama Shimada, it looks like, but there was another healing boost. It doesn't tell me the amount. It just...
That was used. That was used Twitch. There was a Twitch healing, like a sand healing boost.
Yeah, Litherando.
Ah, there it is. Okay, so it's just
So-
so that's just 2d4 plus 2. So if anyone needs to use a 2d4 plus 2 healing boost,
I'll
I am
take it
full
then.
please go ahead and
Yeah.
do so. Oh gosh, and we also got a
We
rather
have
large
some
treasure
mystic
coming in.
surges.
Very nice.
A couple of mystic surges as well.
And it looks as though we're just passing out these loot cards in order to help people. Okay, let's make
Chad's
sure the
coming in
Mystic
huge
Surge-
tonight.
Oh my
All right, let me go ahead and take a look at some of
Wait.
these cards that are being played
That's
here.
a
That's a
So,
life-changing
treasure.
amount of treasure.
Life-changing amount of treasure.
What is
we use
I
the
love
healing
you,
level
Yeah.
boost,
17
we
plus?
use the gold, we use the inspiration,
We are-
we use the superior healing boost. Okay, I see.
We are
see,
good at
very
healing. We're missing like collectively about 3 hit points at this point.
Great. And then we got and then we got the 2 Mystic Surges, one from Tom and one from Mama Shimada. Did you use your Mystic Surges?
One was for me, which I took. Then
Okay.
one was to whoever needs it.
I used 2 second level spells and one first level spell. So
I used
the
0
second
spell
level.
slots last session somehow. I don't know how I did that, but I didn't use a single one.
Perfect. Well, I think you were using your staff, right? And
I
your-
was
and
using
your
the
bardic
staff.
abilities.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
using the staff.
All right,
Okay.
so why don't we go
So-
ahead and give the second Mystic Surge to Farrah? That sounds good to
Yeah.
me.
all right, is it a level? What do I get back from it?
One or two. Level 1 or 2 spell slot,
I'll take a second level.
I believe.
And finally, we get to thank you, by the way, for the healing boost, Lynn. We get to roll on the big treasure list. So let me go ahead and just open the book here and see the table for the big treasure.
Thanks
So
for
I'll
all
probably
that,
need to copy this down.
guys.
I have a question that may become relevant very soon. Is there anywhere in town to buy magic items?
There is actually. There certainly is. This is the capital of the largest city within the
Okay,
kingdom
is it
of Coldhardt.
open
So
at this hour?
that is a different story, but it is possible, considering what has happened, that
Well-
yeah, we might be able to work something out. And
To be fair,
all right,
if it's not open, then we don't need the gold.
I'm going to go ahead and I'd like one of you to go ahead and roll for the D100. So if we can just pick one amongst you, now don't all roll together, to all decide amongst yourselves who this is going to be.
I haven't rolled anything yet tonight.
Yeah, go for it, Black.
Go for it.
All right,
Alright,
Black, go ahead
go
and roll
for
a
it, go for it.
1D100, and you're going to be the one in charge of what your group is able to get as they receive
10.
a horde of well, you know, that was your fault, not mine.
Wait, I have disadvantage. Does it apply here? I have a disadvantage.
No, that
I
would
don't
not
think
apply here.
Oh.
All right, so let's see here. With a very, very, very large treasure hoard coming in. Let
Can I
me
use
take
inspiration?
and see what we've got here? Do you want to use inspiration to re-roll
I'll
this?
use-
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
use an inspiration, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and use an inspiration to re-roll this. Why not?
I have plenty. 31, that's a little
A
better.
31. Okay. Now, I'd like to go ahead and have Raze, can you roll a 1d4 for me, please?
Three.
All right. As part of this hoard that you are receiving, your group is going to be receiving 3 gems, each worth 50 gold. And is that right? Make sure that I'm reading that right. Is that how it's supposed to be? Man, I could really be messing this up. Just give me a moment. I want to make sure that I'm not messing this up. Wow, is that right? Okay. Yeah, I guess that's right. Okay. I would like to have binary.
Yeah.
Can you roll 12d6 for me, please?
12d6.
And I hope that I'm not. Here's the thing. I'm going to check this over with Gnomes, and he can tell me if I'm messing this up. And if I am, you know what? This might be.
We'll figure something out.
Well, we're going to see what happens, and
Yeah.
these cards might end up being. I might make a call in order to say that this isn't going to be what it's going to be. And actually,
That was a
I have-
43.
This
You got a
campaign is not about
43?
shopping.
Yeah,
This campaign is now
43.
about shopping.
Yes.
It's like,
No.
hey, we have like
Wait,
4,300 gold.
Extreme
That's
Makeover
cool.
D&D edition.
Let me
That's what we're
let me
here
just
for.
message Gnomes real quick. Give me
Yeah.
just a second.
That's very reasonable.
Yeah. So we should work on coming up with our shopping list. while
Yes,
you're-
start
Yeah.
looking at what you want to get exactly.
Yeah.
What's our price range
Okay.
here?
I mean, the main thing is healing potions is the only real thing I'm
Well,
looking
I
for.
am-
I
am
did
well
That was
hear
what I
Matt
was
say it was
I'm
like
well
50
stocked with
gold
healing
each.
potions.
So if we do 43 times 50, that's like, you know, that's a lot of gold. If that's what the roll was for. It's like,
Give me just a moment, everyone.
it's like 2,000.
I have not heard back from the Nomi one yet, so I'm probably going to have to
Nomi
make a
one,
call
Kenobi.
on this. But I'm not pleased about this. But that's also a very, 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 very rare card here. So I can certainly understand its power. I'm just a little
We're setting a precedent here.
astounded by what this is supposed
Thank
to
you,
be
Tom.
here.
Thank
Well,
you, Tom.
we can always do the rest of our shopping and then like go to break so we can hear back from gnomes and then settle the card.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to
Those are
go
good, those are
ahead
good.
and I'm just going to give you what it says here. And
Okay.
if it turns out that I'm wrong, then it's very possible that some dire little evil squirrel is going to reach into your packs at night and just take whatever you shouldn't have. That likely is going to be where I end up on this.
I shake on that.
Yeah, that's fair.
aside
Hoodie is
from
just
the
gonna
three,
take out their anger on our wallets.
Yeah.
yes,
yeah.
exactly. Aside from the 3 gems that you were able to recover, each of you, not each of you, all of you, are able to get a total of 7,500 gold. And like I said, if that is very wrong, then
Wait, like each individual one of us gets some?
no,
No, no, no.
all,
Okay,
all of you
okay,
together.
I was
All of
like,
us is a
holy-
conglomerate.
There is
okay,
a-
that's good. I
the,
thought it was like each individual person.
The
I was like,
Coldhardt
oh my
Convicts
God.
receive 7,500 gold pieces
That's still insane.
as part of this very, very powerful Streamloots card. Now, again, I am letting you know that I'm reserving the right, if I'm reading this table wrong and Gnomes tells me how it's actually supposed to work, if you get some really, 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 really cool stuff, I might just have something pilfer a bit of it in the night, just to kind of balance the scales a bit.
Yeah.
So,
Which makes
totally
complete sense.
Yeah.
so anyway, yeah, about that, let's just go ahead and say that absolutely, Platt, there is a vendor here. Let's just cut straight to the chase. There's a vendor here that sells magic items. There is the vendor that you have been able to find is a small shop on the corner of the courtyard where Everwolf has told you to meet. And you can see that he is standing at the fountain as you speak, looking around for all of you. And he does actually catch your group's eye and kind of waves you over to him. By the way that I'm going to explain this is as you were making your way through the town, there was a rather lithe individual that approached you and had just a very, very, very large, heavy backpack that they came up to you and just bumped into you. Oh, sorry. And they dropped the bag on the ground. You can hear the jingle and clang of the gold inside audibly. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to knock this off you, sir. My apologies. They pick up the rather large backpack full of what you can only imagine is just stuffed with treasure, and they pass it off to you and they dust you off a bit. Please, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you, sir. By the way, the Syndicate sends their regards. Thank you very much for all you're doing. They pat you on the chest and they move on through the crowd.
Excellent.
Straight to the magic item shop.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Straight to it.
And just look at Emberwolf and be like, 5 minutes. Walk into the shop.
Comes back like
Okay.
swagged out. It's gonna be
That's basically what's about to happen.
What the hell happened, guys?
Oh my goodness. This is amazing.
Y'all were in jail a minute ago. Now you're like
Yeah,
the
now
richest,
we're
you're the
just going to
richest people in the whole
We're
thing.
going to
Yeah.
Going to get some drip. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Should we do this off stream?
Here's what I'm thinking. We are going to be approaching our break. I think the best way to handle this would be to have your group get the chance to purchase these items. But considering this is happening at the midpoint of our stream and not at the end where I can work with you on the aftermath, what I'm thinking is I'm going to offer your party, much like Everwolf did, one of 2 options. Either you can very quickly take your break instead of getting drinks and food and bathroom, look up what you want and we can hash it out very quickly on our break and then get back to it. Or we can just assume that you're going to purchase these items and use them, but you're not going to be able to use them, of course, because we're not going to pick them until after the game, until the following session. So this next session we go into, we'll have just had you pick up a few potions, so that way you have something that you can use in case something goes bad, but we'll continue the rest of our session and you'll have this little cache of items that you can start working on collecting until our next game. Plus, it gives me a chance to go over with Gnomes if I royally mess this up with the amount of gold that was handed out to you.
Yeah, the latter option sounds.
Yeah, that seems all right.
Okay.
I'm okay
Perfect.
with just getting some potions.
You are going to have quite a bit of money, so for now, why don't we just say that your group is going to each add 3 healing potions and 1 greater healing potion to your supplies. That way, if something comes up, you've got some potions on hand, and you'll absolutely have enough money to purchase at least that. And if you want more, after the session is over, we will make sure that we go over what you can spend this vast amount of wealth on. I'll also connect with Gnomes to make sure that I'm using these cards correctly. While I can imagine that this rare gold card is going to be a powerful boon to you indeed, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be 7,000 gold worth.
Okay.
So, with that, we've hit the halfway point in our show. Thank you all for joining us for this leg of our adventure. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be taking just a quick break, and we'll be back with you shortly. Where is it? There we go.